Hello one and all to me basically reviewing an album that came out in 2013. I just feel like I want to talk about Asking Alexandria's From Death to Destiny. I don't get tired of it. Let's just be real. I think it is a 5 out of 5 album, and I just want to show my appreciation and talk a little bit about the details of why I like it so much. So here we go. Straight off the bat, I just want to tell you a story. My first encounter with Asking Alexandria was not the typical person's experience. So usually somebody will just be like, hear from their friends, they'll say, hey, have you heard this band? Be like, no man, let's check it out. And then, you do your thing there. But this wasn't the case for me. It kind of was the case. I got invited to a show in Vancouver and they were headlining. Being the dumbass that I am, I didn't actually check out the headliner band that I was going to see. So what ended up happening, by the way, this is the tour they were on for this album back in 2013, 2014. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. Right in between the second to last band and them, I actually ended up losing my friends. So I was scrambling around the packed venue trying to find my friends, and I was getting a little bit upset that I couldn't find them. So I ended up just kind of being in a bad mood. But then Asking Alexandria came out, started the set with Don't Pray For Me, which has a pretty cool intro, and then blasts right into it. I was just like sideswiped. I was just blown away. They were not like a typical band of the era. They were very unique, and obviously they had elements that weren't really found in that genre of music, especially Danny. Okay, so Danny is the lead singer. His persona and his voice was just something out of didn't sound like anybody else, and it just blew me away. He definitely had that unique quality to him. And so they ended up just playing most of these songs on this album. My worries went away. You know what? I actually just decided a couple songs in, I'm like, you know what? I don't care that I can't find my friends. I'm just going to go into the freaking pit and try to get up as close as I can to try to enjoy the show. Anyways, I proceeded to then go listen to the album. But yeah, I've been listening to it ever since, and I just love it for many reasons. Don't Pray For Me, solid intro track. I mean, those are all full tracks. So, we got Killing You seamlessly goes into The Death of Me, which I just love. It seems like one big, long song. I love that. The Death of Me, I hate to be one of those people, but that's one of my favorites. It's just very, very catchy, as well as they all are. See, that's the thing. That's the reason why I love this album so much, is because Danny's vocals are very melodic in the choruses and sometimes the bridges, and they're just so damn catchy and hooky. I saw myself singing the choruses the first time I even heard the songs and when I saw them. I love the way they break that up. It feels like they don't follow the typical song structures, which is kind of a relief. You don't know where the song is going to take you. The rhythm sections, which is mostly the guitars as well, is just very chuggy, chunky, genty, rhythmy goodness, and I love that. And it just leaves a lot of room for Danny's vocals to soar. And he doesn't just sing. His screams are, I don't know, his screams are so good. I actually learned this from my producer as well for this album, or the way Danny gets his screams to sound so good. It's because he did Nail the Mix, and one of their songs, I don't know which one, but the way Danny does his vocals is he will actually do a whisper scream to as a backup. So he'll go, "Don't pray for me," but then he'll actually scream it at full volume, because the way you do whisper and you try to sound like that, that's actually how you will sound if you practice enough. Do it the right way without damaging your vocals. Good luck, do that. But yeah, it's just a cool way of making the vocals sound fuller and better in general. More better. Yeah, they just sound amazing. And then not just rhythmatically, they actually throw in beautiful guitar licks that just you're just yeah, dude, where did that come from, right? So the production of this album is, some people would say, a little too much, but you know what? If you can spend a shit ton of money and get the album produced the way it did, good on you. I actually, preparing for this video, looked up the information about From Death to Destiny, and yeah, it was recorded in 7 different studios, and look at all these people that were involved in it. Obviously, you have additional musicians. There's a guest appearance from Howard Jones from Killswitch Engage and Light the Torch. So that's what they were going for. That's what 2013 was. Let's be real. And it obviously did really well on the charts, whatever. But I don't know. I think what I mostly just want to talk about Danny. What they did that was super cool back before this album was released. They actually did an EP called Life Gone Wild, which was a cover album of a bunch of 80s metal rock songs. So I think that changed their whole perspective. They're like thinking we could take the old and the new and put it together in an awesome way. And especially with the vocals, which, as I said, are very catchy. As you all know, or you might not know, I'm just assuming that you don't know, Danny left the band after this album, and they proceeded to record an album with Dennis Stoff, but then he came back and they released their self-titled album in 2017, and then they released their next album in 2020, and the year anniversary just went by. So, both solid albums as well, but you can tell there was tension between the band, because in the tracks Moving On and The Road, and even until the end, you can actually hear Danny basically saying he wants to leave the band. He helped write and performed on, like, in my mind, a 5 out of 5 album, but he knew it was going to probably be the last album. Maybe he did put his all into it because he knew that was going to be it. I don't know if the band knew, like, writing the songs and having the lyrics for Moving On, which are basically the chorus being, I've never been so torn up in all my life, I should have seen this coming, I've never felt so hopeless than I do tonight, I don't want to do this anymore. So there's that, and basically kind of on the same concept of the next song I'm just going to talk about, The Road. In the chorus, I want to go home, I want to sleep in my own bed, I want a normal life again, is this the end, is this the end? No matter how hard I try, all I know is the road, all I know is the road. So yeah, you can definitely tell at the end of the album that he's going to leave, and like Until the End featuring Howard Jones, it's basically the same concept, but it doesn't matter. It's not like he didn't give a shit about the album. Obviously he put a lot into it, and apparently, reading up on the Wikipedia stuff, I actually came across Ben Bruce talking about the comparison between From Death to Destiny and the next one they did without him. Danny just flat out refused to sing or scream over the songs we would write, so we would have to make huge compromises with that record. And then they just said, on the Black, we got back to our roots. It was a lot of fun doing the Black. But that's the thing. If they always just wanted to do their roots, obviously Danny didn't want to do that, so he brought his own spin to it, and sort of like 80s metal or rock sort of aspect to it. And you can definitely tell, like, his live performances, he would definitely like spice it up a bit, and it was just off the wall awesome. So yeah, thank you Joey Sturgis for producing this album. I love it. I probably will always love it. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. Oh, and I actually just realized this today by looking at the Wikipedia as well. There's an extra song released for the European Deluxe Edition. It was just called Dead. So I heard this song, this B-side song, shouldn't even be B-side. They should have just included it, because it's actually freaking awesome as well, which makes the album even better, man. It's on Sumerian's YouTube page. Just go check out their extra song, because it's not on Spotify, I believe. But yeah, I love Asking Alexandria. I love the evolution of their band. It's been quite the journey, and I've actually grown up with them. They definitely like rolled with the times, like Stand Up and Scream, and you can definitely tell, like, you know, that it was 2009. And if you're gonna talk shit about like House on Fire, then I'm gonna say F you. They've been around for a long time. Just be happy that Danny's back, alright? And go listen to the band Drag Me Out if you want to hear Dennis's new band. Again, I talked about this in my Gojira review, but try being in a band for 10 plus years. See where that takes you. It's a very catchy album as well, and so is their self-titled one. I honestly love all the albums in their own ways. That's my spiel on From Death to Destiny, which is, yes, it's my favorite album by them. Can I just mention one more thing? A thing that you didn't also find in this era of bands was orchestra. They have orchestra arrangements of like strings all over the damn place, which just I love personally, because why the hell not? Who the hell wouldn't love that shit in there? It's very Avenged Sevenfold-y, I gotta say. I can definitely hear like Avenged Sevenfold influences from Asking Alexandria. So like, obviously, don't get me wrong, From the Death of Me, he says, am I insane, am I insane, am I insane? And it's like, dude, that's almost easy. But the string arrangements as well from Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album probably influenced them to do the same. And it's very tastefully done. It's a very tasteful album. It's very catchy. It's very sing-along-y. It's just an all-around banger. So give yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and go check out this album, because I think I'm going to do a series where I just talk about some of my favorite albums and why I love them so much. So anyways, thanks for checking this out, and I really appreciate it. And please subscribe, do all that good YouTube stuff, hit the notification bell, ding, and comment down below like what your favorite album is by them, or even just your favorite album in general, so I can maybe check it out. Maybe it'll become my new favorite album. Thank you so much. Peace.